Hello and welcome back to another TS81 review. As you can see, this is a Hornby product this time. This locomotive has a story to tell because this locomotive, this one, Merchant Navy class locomotive, is responsible for me getting back into the hobby because this is the very first locomotive that I purchased back in 2003. I was just strolling. It's a nice hot summer's day in July. I think it was July. Nice hot summer's day, and I was walking past a local model shop which is no longer there. Cove Models. I'm afraid that Cove Models isn't there anymore. It was in North Camp, and I was walking past, and I thought, oh, why not? Let's have a look. And I walked in and discovered that Hornby have improved a lot of their locomotives, and this was the locomotive as like a benchmark for what's to come in the future. Hornby released this locomotive, and this was what they modelled every other locomotive off, this one. So this is responsible for me then purchasing even more models. So this is a very special locomotive. Let's have a look. This is the days before DCC. So this is just a DC model. It hasn't got DCC ready or anything. It says it's super detailed. And this model is of BR462, is the wheel arrangement specific, and it's a Merchant Navy class, running number 35027 port line. Now this is a really special locomotive. You can probably, no, you can't really, it's faded. There's a price sticker there. I purchased it for £95, but I don't think I paid £95 for it. Okay, without further ado, let's get the box open. Let's open, actually, let's open it this way. It's the usual style Hornby packaging, although this is a model of 2003. So, okay, let's put that down. You get a nice sleeve. There you go. Put that aside. It was wrapped in tissue paper, but I've removed that. I think it might be underneath the locomotive, but the instructions are here. Merchant Navy class locomotive and tender. So these are the usual operating instructions you get with a Hornby locomotive. I think this one was made in 2002. If you read the numbers properly, yeah. Well, it's the usual maintenance instruction, but nothing about DCC because obviously it wasn't around just yet. It basically tells you how to remove the body, how to remove the front bogies, and take the speedo cable off, speedometer cable, so you can detach the body. And obviously the red dots indicate where you lube the locomotive, where you put lubrication. And I must say, only a little bit. I've got a, I think it's Gauge Master that do a lubing pen. It's got a very fine needle, and that just about enough. I usually dab it on, and then if there's too much, I get a bit of tissue paper and just dab it off, or a cotton bud does the trick. Okay, it's nice. Okay, it's the instructions side. Okay, let's have a look at the locomotive. Now, I would like to say as well, my previous review of Tornado, I was actually, I knocked the tripod a couple of times. Now I'm kneeling. I was sitting on a chair on that review. Now I'm kneeling at the tripod, so hopefully I should be able to get better grip of the locomotive. Let's take the tender out first. So obviously it's the usual Hornby's old style packaging with the, I don't know if you can see that, the holes. You poke your finger through. So I take the tender out first. It's a little bit tight. This is the only thing I'd like to mention about this style Hornby packaging, is some of the highly detailed models, some of the early highly detailed models, they still use this polystyrene tray, and it's really tight. You have to be ever so careful not to damage any of the delicate detail. It's really difficult. Right, but now obviously we know that Hornby have got other styles of packaging. You got the split one where the top comes off, and also you got the block of ice, which comes with the Hornby B1, I think it is. Okay, ever so careful. Excuse my fingers. Okay, there we go. Excellent. Right, the first thing you notice, oh dear, I think the brake rigging's just come off. I can reattach that with a bit of tacky wax. Not to worry, both of them are in the bottom of the box anyway. It's a little bit dusty because I haven't had her out for a while. Yeah, the first thing you'll notice is there's quite a bit of weight to her. There is quite a bit of weight, and that's good. That's good for traction. That's what we want. We want the weight. We need it, so she can pull heavy trains. Let's have a look at the front of her. Excellent. Okay, I'm gonna just bear with me. I'm just right. Hiya, I'm back. I've actually went to go and get a brush, so you can brush dust off her. Obviously, I haven't used this locomotive in a while. She was in a display cabinet, but it was getting a little bit dusty. Oh, it just very gently just dust her. Really, I should have done this before the review. I'll dust it a bit. I'll dust more of later. Okay, let's get back to the review. I'm sorry about earlier, my back was hurting. I'm getting old, you see. But, oh yeah, I didn't know that. Yep, we have sprung buffers. We do have sprung buffers with this. That's good. Sprung buffers. And no, I don't think it's got NEM couplings. It's too early for that. This, I think it's slimline tension lock, but still, it's really nicely detailed. Nice. You can see some nice rivet detail there. The camera picked that up. Nice rivet detail here with a number. That is excellent. Some brass piping down here. The rear bogie. These have got like disced spoked wheels. So these are it's a bullied locomotive for the Southern. It's one of my favourite locomotives. This. Originally, these would have been air smooth casing around them, but they were high maintenance costs, and they were rebuilt. So I think it's about, in the mid 50s they were rebuilt. But the Merchant Navy classes were the first ones to be built, and then since they were the first ones to have all the air smooth casing removed. It's like you do get the other classes, which is basically the Battle of Britain and the Battle of Britain and the West Country. and some of them still have their air smooth casing on, which is I like them both. I like them in the rebuilt version and the unrebuilt version. I do like them both, but this one is exquisite. This is what was to mark from Hornby what was to, this is to mark what's to come next. Although there isn't any cab detail, I'm afraid. Cab detail is very basic. You could excuse me, you could paint it up inside. You could do a bit of work to it yourself, but in this early model there's no cab detail. But still though, she is splendid. She is superb. And a little bit of, I think that's polystyrene there. Let's just remove that. A really good looking locomotive. I'm so glad to have her in my fleet. There's a bit of vacuum pipe detail there at the front, which I don't think, I might have fitted that myself. That might have been me. It's been a while, because like I said, I've had this since 2003. But she is superb. Right, let's have a look at the tender. And I also do like bullied tenders. They are really nice. And this tender is pretty nice. This brake rigging's been fitted. I think that was me that fitted the brake rigging underneath. And yep, this tender has pickups. There's pickups there. I can see the brass contacts. Obviously, this is with Hornby's standard pickup, the pin and hook pickup, which is nice. It's pretty simple. You just hook the pin in the hole, really, and you're away, which is pretty simple, and you don't have to fiddle around with plugs underneath, which is very fiddly. But like I said, there's no DCC provision in this locomotive, so it's just basically taking current from the tender to the motor in the locomotive. So this, yep, by the way, this is Loco drive. Sprung loaded buffers at the rear, and this coupling is no, it's not an M. It's just a slimline tension log. You've got some, this is nice, you've got some footsteps, ladders there, footsteps, ladders, some there, so you can climb into the cab. Yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty well detailed. Obviously that's the level of the cab floor there. I think you've got some fake coal, and that's not removable, I'm afraid. It's moulded. But like I said again, you could put some real coal on top of that and glue it on. You can still do that. Now a water filler, yeah, that looks nice. It's a little bit dusty. I'll just give it a dust later on. And you've got some warning overhead wire signs there. So it looks like it's obviously she's in a preserved state. Because I do actually have some footage somewhere of this locomotive getting taken from Barry Scrapyard, and a team of enthusiasts going out to restore it and get it back into running condition again, which is excellent. And that's one of the reasons why I actually I got this locomotive Port Line, the actual model of Port Lines, because actually I've actually got footage showing her getting restored, which is nice. I don't want to bend that too much, I don't want to snap it. It have actually got some glass there. There's some fake glass, so the camera can make that out. But there is some windows in place, which is good. Pretty nice tender. Oh yeah, BR lined green and the lake crest on the tender, which is nice. And yes, I do have a streamlined casing locomotive, which I will do a review sometime in the near future of. Right, let's get her on, put her on the track and see how she performs. Just finished off dusting the rest of the dust off the locomotive. Now I'm just going to place her on the track. Let's see if she's all lined up. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think so. I've got her on the track straight away. That's pretty good. Alright, the tender. Now it's just a simple plug and pin locator on there. If I can just... There we are, just hook her in the hole and place the tender on the track. Yep. She looks all lined up to me. Okay, I'd like to point out that I didn't mention that she's an 8P, 8 power rating passenger. Which, if I can just go to the cab, just above her number, she's got 8P. Yeah, I can just about pick it out. Right, let's give her some juice. I haven't run this locomotive for a while, by the way. Oh. She's a little bit jerky. She's a little bit cold, but that's not too bad. Power setting isn't very high either. She's running quite smoothly. Right, let's see how slow we can get her. Now that is pretty good for DC. That's just about as slow as I could probably get her. Let's have a look at the controller again. I think if I go any slower she might stop. Let's see. I think that's it. That is slow. She's moving ever so slightly. And the controller again. That is pretty impressive for DC. Considering she hasn't, I've just taken her out of the box and she hasn't run for a while. That's pretty amazing. Okay, speed her up a bit. Okay, a nice steady speed, a nice running in speed, I think. About there. About 12 o'clock. Well, just slightly past 12. A nice smooth mechanism. Hornby have done a superb job with this model. She's running pretty smoothly. Hardly any noise coming from the motor. Excuse my dodgy camera work here. I'm still trying to get used to doing this. Hopefully with time I should get a little bit better. See, the more you do things, the better you get at it. Well, that's what I think anyway. And she's running on a 4th radius curves. I think the limit on radius, I think, is 2nd radius, and that's with most modern locomotives now. But such an exquisite loco. Few fixed locations. Get close to the mechanism. Exquisite loco, truly. I recommend this locomotive to anyone.